February 2020, Los Angeles. Josh Jones, an early Bitcoin investor, is logging into one of his accounts. But something's wrong. His phone stops receiving texts. Passwords start resetting. And then, balances begin to move. Not small amounts. Not a few hundred here and there. Millions. By the time he realizes what's happening, $36 million is gone. Not from a bank, not from an exchange, straight out of his own wallets. And the strangest part? It wasn't who you'd expect. So how do you steal $36 million without ever stepping into a bank? It starts with a phone. Not the victim's phone exactly, but the number attached to it. Here's the trick. Most mobile carriers treat your phone number like an ID card. Lose your phone, call them up, answer a couple of security questions, and they'll move your number onto a new SIM card. Convenient if you drop your phone in a toilet. Disastrous if someone else convinces them they're you. That's called a SIM swap. And once the attacker has your number, your texts go to their phone, not yours. Every two-factor code, every password reset. It's like someone's secretly making a copy of your house keys, except instead of breaking into your living room, they're breaking into your bank. And in 2020, one teenager figured out exactly how much money could be unlocked this way. Somewhere in the United States, a crypto investor is about to have a very bad day. It starts small. The bars drop to zero. No service. Just gone. The kind of thing some people blame on AT&T. Except this time, it isn't a coverage issue. The investor doesn't know it yet, but their phone number has already been ported. Every text, every call, every two-factor code, now landing in the pocket of a 17-year-old kid sitting hundreds of miles away in Hamilton, Ontario. And that's when the real damage begins. First come the password resets, then the account recovery emails, then the wallets. Within hours, millions in Bitcoin is sliding out of the victim's control and into the hands of the teenager. Not thousands, not hundreds of thousands. By the end, $36 million in cryptocurrency is gone. Police would later call it the biggest theft ever reported from a single person. But on that day, to the victim, it was something simpler. One phone glitch that turned into financial Armageddon. The victim does the obvious thing. Calls the phone company, calls the bank, calls anyone who might be able to explain how millions in Bitcoin just evaporated. But there's no quick fix for this, because the problem isn't on their phone anymore. It's in the hands of someone who knows exactly what they're doing. So the case lands with the FBI in Los Angeles. And the more they dig, the uglier it looks. The attacker didn't just guess a password. He had rerouted the entire identity of the victim's phone, intercepting every single two-factor authentication code, every reset link, every alert. It wasn't just a theft. It was identity theft at the molecular level. And because the victim was a crypto investor, the stakes weren't just a drained checking account. This was $36 million gone in a matter of clicks. The FBI pulls in backup. Canadian police. The U.S. Secret Service's Cybercrime Task Force. Dozens of investigators chasing a teenager they don't even have a name for yet. Meanwhile, rumors ripple through crypto forums. A massive theft, maybe the biggest ever from a single individual. Screenshots start floating around on Reddit. Some users shake their heads at the carelessness of keeping that much Bitcoin tied to a phone. For months, investigators hit a wall. The blockchain shows where the stolen coins go, but not who's holding them. Every wallet looks like just another string of nonsense letters. It's like chasing a shadow through a hall of mirrors. But then, a crack. Not in some high-security vault. Not through complex tracing software. The break comes from something much smaller, almost laughably so. The teenager doesn't buy a mansion. He doesn't buy a Lambo. He buys gamer tags. Rare usernames, the kind prized in online gaming circles. Short handles, one-word names, basically bragging rights you can't even hang on a wall. And that username is what blows his cover. Because rare names aren't anonymous. They have owners. They leave trails. Investigators notice transactions that don't fit the pattern of a crypto whale hiding funds. Instead, they look like a teenager showing off in the only world he really knows: gaming. From there, it all lines up. Accounts tied to the rare usernames link back to him. Search warrants follow, and investigators realize the trail doesn't lead to some cyber gang overseas. It leads to a teenager in Hamilton. The knock comes in 2021. Hamilton police, backed by the FBI and US Secret Service. Inside, the teenager who had pulled off one of the biggest personal crypto thefts in history. 17 years old. They arrest him for theft over $5,000 and possession of property obtained by crime. And thanks to Canada's Youth Criminal Justice Act, his name never hits the headlines. To the world, he's just the 17-year-old from Hamilton. At the time of the arrest, about $5 million Canadian in crypto is recovered. A fraction of the original $36 million, but still enough to prove the case. Court proceedings stretch on. And because he's still underage, the details stay locked away. No courtroom sketches, no front-page drama, just silence. Until he turns 18. That's when he appears in court as an adult. He expresses remorse, says he wants to go straight. He's sentenced to a year of probation, banned from touching cryptocurrency, and credited for time already served. For a moment, it looks like the story might end there. A teenage hacker caught, punished, and maybe learning his lesson. But some people can't resist a locked door. Soon after turning 19, the same teen is back at it. This time not with SIM swaps, but with hijacked social media accounts. NFT creators, Twitter accounts, phishing schemes. A smaller take compared to the first heist, around $800,000, but enough to prove the lesson hadn't stuck. This time, the US courts get involved. No youth protections, no anonymity, just charges. By 2025, the now adult was sentenced to a year in prison for phishing and NFT-related hacks. All it took to break a $1 billion system was a SIM card, and all it took to catch him was a username.